Okay, so in the first podcast, we spoke about business strategy and marketing and how they go hand in hand and how there are some core pieces that any business needs to have in the form of a P&L and business strategy, really to better understand how to go about a marketing strategy. So now we want to talk about how we start that marketing journey.
Right, awesome. So if one of your clients doesn't want to do the marketing strategy, they don't have one, they don't want a P&L and they don't have one, will you still work with them and help them with their marketing?
Yeah, so if someone comes to us and they're looking for a new website, or if they're looking for new branding, or they just want social media marketing or email marketing, we will ask them if they have their business strategy and they have a P&L and other things, and just we'll ask as many questions as we can to better understand the client and better understand who they are and what they're trying to achieve. And with that, we will execute the best marketing strategy and plan we can. But again, we would always like to encourage that businesses do have those core pieces first. And often for me, to be honest, it'll be a case of where as I build that journey with that customer and with the business, they'll understand where we're coming from and why those pieces are really important and how they can be really beneficial to a business. And I guess in some ways, to answer your question, some of that can be really influenced by how busy a business is. Okay, so if you've got a mature business, they're busy every day, they're working every day, it's a bit harder sometimes to get them to stop and to do those things. If you're a new business or you're a bit quieter, then you might have the resource or time to be able to invest to get those things in place.
Yeah, you have the agility to do those things, but it's harder to turn a big ship that's moving, right? And so why do your clients use you? Why do they use Brandly?
Yeah, so great question. So Brandly started because essentially we were doing some consulting work in a few different areas, and Abra historically has specialized in Google optimization and the work that he's done there with his team. And then for myself, I was doing business consulting and a lot of face-to-face type work with software systems and other things, and essentially resource equipping a business, a lot to do with strategy consulting and implementation of those things. What we found, though, is that if we provide that guidance, there was, I guess, this big empty hole, and I guess you could put it in 3 layers, okay? So you'd have the consulting strategy side where we could come in and do the work that we needed to do. Then there was the execution of the business or the daily operations of the business. But then there's this big empty hole of the marketing and execution of that marketing and relying on a business owner to go and then implement that.
Yeah.
The next layer to that is how, I guess, difficult digital marketing has become with all the different moving parts. Okay, so in episode 1, we talked a little bit about now you've got Google optimization, you've got your website as your digital house, you have your social media marketing, email marketing, then you expand social media to the likes of TikTok and X and other things. Then you have YouTube. Then even within Google, there's Google My Business and Google Publishings that you can do. Now YouTube's actually just switched on postings as well and stories. So then within Facebook, if you like, that joined with Instagram, that became Meta. Meta now has a greater level of degree with integrations. We have some clients that have e-com platforms where we can integrate the Meta platforms into the Shopify account, for example, and other things like that. So I guess there's this great evolution of marketing and the different moving parts involved. The question to a business owner is, how much resource do you really have and how much expertise do you have to invest in those areas to know if what you're doing is right? Because anyone can really jump on, right? Like you've done it. You've jumped on and created your own Facebook page or whatever. So I guess I'd ask you as a business owner, how did you find just jumping on Facebook and being able to post and publish content?
Well, look, to begin with, it wasn't too difficult for me. But then Meta just grew into this giant beast and became complicated, and they kept changing everything. And I actually, for a while, gave up on even advertising anything, or once I realized that the post, and this is what I hear, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that if you post something, you have a following of 300 people, you post something through your business account, and only 5% of your audience that want to follow you will actually see that post. So it's almost like every single thing you post, they want you to pay for it just to get your followers to see that post. And then, so there's that. And then there was just the complexity of it. And when I'm wearing all different hats in my business, doing everything really well to a high standard is almost impossible.
Yeah. Okay. So if you start a business, first and foremost, most people start a business because of a skill set, an interest, or an investment that they might undertake. Okay. So there's one component there in itself. The next thing is then within a business, especially a startup or a newly established business, you're normally going to be either time poor, financially poor, or resource poor, or a combination of all three. Okay. So if you're all of those things, and then you start understanding you need a website, and I need to be able to go and do sales. Oh, but I also need to do social media marketing. Oh, but I also need someone to do X, Y, Z. Then I guess you start to explore where to invest in resources. And then you say, okay, well, I need this person over here who does my website. But they say, oh, but I only do web development. I don't do any marketing. Okay, so then you go to another agency who specializes in Google optimization, for example. But they say, oh, I do Google optimization, but I don't do web development and I don't do social media marketing. And so they even refer you to someone and they say, oh, but I've got this great organization over here we've used and partnered with. So then you go and meet with them and you get social media marketing, but they say, oh, but we don't do email campaigns. So then you got to go find someone else. So if you're time poor and you're also resource poor and you're also financially poor, I guess to have all those things, how do you deal with an environment that has, I guess, been created because of the progression of digital marketing, where then it's actually creating more of that problem? Because then how do you have a meeting every month with your web developer, with your Google optimization team, with your social media marketing team, your email marketing team? Then how do you make sure they're all actually executing the plan in the right way, right? So they could all probably produce some really nice content and really nice material for you. But again, is it really in line with your key objective? Is it really in line with the strategy? Is it really delivering the outcome that you're trying to achieve? Because again, for businesses, we're not influencers. We're not trying to get likes and followers. Yes, those are helpful, but we're trying to achieve an outcome. And that outcome is normally getting that consumer to purchase your products or services.
Yeah. And even with all of those different pieces, they not only do you need to meet with those, but they need to work together as well.
Yeah.
And they're all different services, agencies and whatnot.
And that's why we started Brandly. So with Brandly, it's about coming to one point of contact and having that account manager and having that person that first and foremost is somebody that's come from a business environment that understands business, not just marketing creative, but also then knows how to convert that business plan or that business strategy into a marketing plan. Okay, so where do we start with that? Well, we learn about your business. We learn about who your customers are, your demographics, your age profiles, economic profiles, all the influencing things that I guess impact who your customers are. We then need to understand who they are. And this is a bit of the art in itself. Most businesses will actually think about what they offer and push their services to the market, okay? That's not really talking to your customers and it's not really providing a solution. You're I call it throwing darts. So we keep throwing darts and we hope we hit bullseye. And every now and again, we will hit bullseye, great. But there's more missing bullseye than there's hitting bullseye, right? If we reverse engineer it and say, okay, yes, I do know my products and services, but more so I need to know my customers and what my reach is. This is who I'm trying to tap into. This is the way that they behave. This is how I expect that they'll probably engage in my products and services and why they would do it. And so now I need to tailor my business strategy and my business plan and my marketing plan accordingly. That's then going to tell us what type of website do we need? Most people do need a website. Okay, that's almost a given. But then is Facebook the right environment? Is Instagram the right environment? Have I got a younger audience that I need to get onto the likes of X and TikTok and other platforms? Is it a technical product that maybe Reddit or other things are a better platform for it? Is YouTube a good avenue for what I'm doing? Is print marketing potentially a good avenue? Do I need brand videos? Do I need testimonial videos? So with all of those different moving components, and again, if you're a skilled person or you're got into this business because of where your skill sets lie, how do you possibly start to unpack all of that and really understand the right marketing strategy moving forwards?
So many pieces.